Welcome to the Strong Back Nation podcast, the show where we talk junk and build empires. I'm your host, Todd Cardon. Stay strong, stay hungry, and keep building. Welcome back to another episode. Today we're going to talk about the awesome tools you can use that will help you make your job easier. And before I get into that, I just want to talk to you about what happened today. So I think last episode I talked about how it's really important that you just schedule the appointment and not try to sell it on the price. Well, here's what happened. So I finished 2 jobs, and then I had 2 more jobs in the afternoon to do. So the first job in the afternoon I had, I said, hey, I'll come take a look. If everything's good, I will, I'll give you a quote, and then if you're good, we'll get it loaded up, and if not, that's fine too. So we get there, and we look at all the stuff in the house, and on the porch and everything, and I gave him the quote, and he said, what did he say? He's like, I'm not able to pay you right now, but if you want to wait till next week, like next Saturday, then we can do it then. And I said, okay, well, that's fine. I said, I'll give you a curbside discount. Like I can knock $20 off if we do it today. I mean, it's pretty easy. And anyway, so he still didn't want to do it. And then I heard his girlfriend or whoever it was say, well, you can use my credit card. Like as I was walking out the door. Anyway, so I just walked away from that. But it was kind of a bummer because like I kind of made time for me to do that job because it's Saturday. The dumps are not open, so the full load that I had from the jobs this morning, I dumped it on our property and then took off. So that there was a truck available to be able to do this other job. And not on top of that, I had to drive like 45 minutes to get there. So 45 minutes for him to say not right now, which that's kind of the risk that you take by just scheduling the appointment versus just getting a quote over the phone and everything is good to go. But I think that's just kind of a one-off. I'm going to keep trying booking these appointments and just not giving quotes over the phone and just focus on that. So that's kind of what happened today. But getting back into tools, all right. So here's another thing that happened. So this morning, the job I had, the guy needed to get his basketball hoop disassembled after I loaded everything else up. So that was kind of the last thing. And so the ground was frozen, so he had like these sandbags frozen to the basketball hoop. So I was like, oh, no problem. So I had a crowbar and shovel. He used the crowbar, I used the shovel. So that was one tool I was able to use to get those sandbags kind of broken apart and off, loaded up. And then I was able to bust out the Sawzall to cut the basketball hoop in half. And then he wanted to take the basketball goal off because he wanted to keep that. So he borrowed my ratchet set. So luckily I had that. And then I had my drill just in case as well. And then I had some pliers. So he wasn't able to get the goal off, so he needed help. He's like, hey, can you cut these pieces off? So I attempted to use the Sawzall, but for whatever reason, the power cord stopped working. I don't know if something tripped in his house or whatever. So I was like, oh, well, maybe. So he plugged in a different spot. I'm like, well, maybe it still wasn't working. So I was like, maybe the Sawzall it's not. Maybe it's going on with my tool. It's just not working or something. So I had another tool this grinder that grinds metal, so I brought that out, but that didn't work either. So anyway, I've come prepared. So like I've got, and if they have branches, I've got a chainsaw ready to go. I've got 2 others at home. We need to cut up some branches. And I've got, brooms and I've got a sledgehammer. Just got to come prepared. So you just never know where you're going to run into with some of these jobs. Like it's coming so handy. Like that chainsaw, holy cow! Like last year there was this like random shower stall. Like there's this pile of trash outside of this lady's house, and there's this shower stall that probably it's probably been sitting there for like 6 years, because like there's this tree that like grew through it. So there's no way to get rid of that. So what I did, I just got the chainsaw out and cut it all apart in pieces, and was able to get it out of the tree. And so that was handy. You're probably not supposed to use a chainsaw for like fiberglass, but I was just kind of in a hurry, so I just went ahead and used it. But anyway, so I was able to get that out. But I was able to, over the course of the year, just acquire some of these tools like the Sawzall. I didn't have one. Like my first hot tub job, I needed to get one, so I just Home Depot. That was another thing. Home Depot is like my best friend. Like I grew up. My dad, he's a woodworker, and so like I grew up just constantly going into the hardware store. And actually, a side note, so in high school, this Home Depot that I went to in Colorado, there was this hot dog stand, and so every time you get out of the truck and walk inside the Home Depot store, you could smell like that the hot dogs cooking and the brats. Oh, it was so good. And then you walk out there and you smell it again, and then it's like 11:30, you're starving, and you're like, okay, fine, I guess I'll have one. Anyway, that was just a side note. But the tools, so growing up, constantly going to Home Depot to pick up lumber, stain, lacquer, paint, I don't know, just so many projects growing up that my dad worked on, that I would go there and I, just kind of tagging along. But you just, holy cow, all the tools he has, you just kind of take for granted. But he's got like a lifetime supply of different tools, and some of them, like this planer he's had since like the early 80s, and then like this bandsaw, and then he had this table saw that he used for almost about 20 years. So yeah, they last a long time. So like this Sawzall, I'm hoping will last for years and years to come, and this drill. So it's definitely an investment as you and just get the tools as needed. Like if you don't need a Sawzall right away, like if you don't have a hot tub to cut up, don't get one, but just wait until those jobs show up. And then, if you can't afford it, just price accordingly. Maybe add a little bit extra to cover the cost of the tools to supplement. So that's my take on tools. And so yeah, every time I walk into Home Depot, like it's like a whole world opened up. I never realized how amazing the inventory that they have of all these different tools. I just kind of drool over all the different tools that they have, and then every now and again splurge a little bit and get that DeWalt extension that I've always dreamed of, or whatever. Anyway, that's all I got for today, and we'll see you on the next one.